you know. Especially here, I've talked about company, all of these are applicable to an individual life. We as an individual are corporations on our own. The company is a macrocosm of the microcosm of a person. Every one of us is a company at the microcosm level, right? Everything that's taking place in my mental faculty, right, in my physical faculty, my spiritual faculty, is the company that I am, called me. I am me incorporated, right? My success or failure is determined by the right interactions that are taking place in my physical being, in my mental being, and my spiritual being. Because everything I do with other people is dependent on that, right? So everything we've set up applies to that, right? As a company called me, I need to be big picture thinking concerning my life, right? I need to plan every day, like we said, coming into this year. I need to have a lifetime plan for myself when I exit this life. What do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be? Right? How do I want the important people in my life to see me? Right? So they're also long-term, right? So it's a lifetime goals. To achieve my lifetime goals, I must have long-term goals to get towards that. And to achieve my long-term goals, I need to have short-term goals to get there, right? So as much as I have a tactical short-term goals, I need to have a strategic long-term and lifetime goal that they are feeding into, right, to make happen, right? So I'm strategic as far as the long-term and the lifetime goals are concerned, but I'm tactical concerning the short-term goals, which I have to achieve to be able to achieve the strategic. But with the strategic, I make sure I'm not lost in the short-term tactical, that I make a mess of my long-term. With my long-term goal, it guarantees that my short-term is making sense. With my lifetime goal, it guarantees that my long-term is making sense, right? All of that are just connected, right? So, and like I say here, it's the power of having goals, having a vision, having a mission, having a target. Just keeps your life, keeps your energy level in the place it ought to be. Someone people ask me all the time, how am I able to do all the things that I do? Because my energy level never goes down. I am all going towards that lifetime goal. I'm strategic. I'm tactical. Tactical on the short-term goals, strategic on the long-term goals and the lifetime goals, right? I hope you get something from that. And to close here on the last slide here, it's so these are just talking about 3 benefits of being big picture thinking, right? And it allows us to see opportunities for improvement, right? Look at areas in your life that might need some touch up, and you can work on them, right? It allows us to bring that big picture view to be communicated to the rest of the team. So it's easy for me to communicate the big picture team with my farm manager, or with my farm workers, right? Because I know it, I'm building it already, right? And it's a continuous work, as I meditate more and more. I have to gain the clarity to be able to then pass it on, to the people that work for me, So it's a place where I understand it, then I can pass it on. The more I can pass it on, the more I can keep everybody at the high energy level and focus towards the same thing, right? And it serves to reinforce real reason for the activities we do daily, So yeah, so like my farm manager knows. The reason we do everything is just to change life, at least he's got in that much. When our farm workers get here, my duty will be to make sure they also get into that same level. When we start our poultry, I need to get everybody to that same level. It's just a story, that was shared about the cleaner at NASA, and they asked her what was her duty. She didn't say it was cleaning. Her duty was to get the man to the moon. Right. That's why, as a company, for us, is to change lives. Doesn't matter what you do every day, but you need to understand what you do every day, how it ties to the big picture, right? You're cleaning to get a man to the moon. You're farming to change lives, and that helps with the energy level. It helps with the culture also, right? The culture that your company runs on is affected by your strategic thinking, your big picture. Everyone needs to understand what they're part of, right? That's a reason for your vision, your mission, but it comes from a big picture thinking, right? The other thing I probably left out, I didn't mention all of this, is the fact that, what Bethany emphasized, the fact that this takes practice. I can tell you, I'm doing it as I listened to James C. Collins yesterday and a whole lot of times. It's affecting the way I think from a strategic standpoint. I'm learning. When I built my first house, I didn't have a strategic point of view, and that's why it wasn't the success I desired. Right? I was all tactical. I was there doing the everyday thing. I designed the house. I drew the house. I even drew a 3D model of the house myself, right? I was out there when we did the foundation in the mud, working with them. I was lost in the frame. I could not see the big picture. And that was why it was easy for things to fall through the crack, right? So I come long ways, I haven't had failures. I'm learning from my failures. That's why, like I shared here with my family, I've only been there 3 times, right? Because I paid someone to take care of the daily duties. So I don't have to be there on a daily basis, right? That doesn't mean that I don't get all the reports. I know everything that's taking place out there, because the few times I go, I make sure my mind captures everything so that it's easy for me to follow from a distance, right? I'm not interfering with the everyday thing, so I don't get lost myself, right? Nor do I confuse the people, right? But at a distance, I can see and understand everything that's going on, right? But this comes by learning, right? It's not something you just get one day. You learn, you practice, you make some mistakes, you try it again. Like I say, I come long ways. I've had a failure in what I did with my first house building, and I've learned a lot from that, and I'm practicing it here. Also that helps somebody. I didn't get any of my people log on today, so no direct questions to answer. In a way, it's a get out of jail card. But for who I am, I love to have someone. I love anytime I have interaction, it's great. But we didn't get it today. All things work together for good. So that's all I have. If you have any question, like I say all the time, feel free. You can throw me something out on YouTube itself. Throw me something out on Facebook, or any other place you hit this, right? Share me something on LinkedIn, wherever it is, I'll get to answer you. Anyways, God bless you and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.